my wonderful volunteers, thank you so much for everything that you have done these past few months and this last year.
Jewish Family Service is lucky to have some of the most hardworking, caring, generous volunteers out there.
Thank you to all of our incredible volunteers who dedicate their time and effort to our organization.
I feel lucky that I get to spend every day surrounded by each of you who are committed to making a difference in our community.
We are incredibly grateful for our volunteers. They're the best.
I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your support, for the gift that keeps on giving, which you are.
Thank you so much for all you do in keeping this organization going.
I just wanted to say thank you guys for impacting so many different lives.
I want to thank all the volunteers who help our programs every day.
What you do for the mission of the agency is invaluable.
We are grateful for each and every one of you.
Thank you for your passion. Thank you for your dedication, and thank you for your commitment.
You inspire all of us every day in the work that you do and the time that you give to our program and to Jewish Family Service.
When we talk about making the impossible possible, you're the reason why we're able to do that.
I wish you all the best because you are the best.
We can't do it without you. Thank you again for everything that you do.
And we thank you for your support.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Volunteer Appreciation.
Hi, I'm Kathi Barker. I'm the CEO of Jewish Family Service of Dallas. I'm really excited to be here to celebrate the incredible COVID-19 heroes that have made and continue to make such a huge difference in the lives of the clients that we serve and in our community. I hope you all feel how grateful we are for you today and every day. That video gets me every time that I see it, but we truly mean it, how much we appreciate and thank you for all that you do for us and for the community. As you all know, Jewish Family Service relies on the support of our community to address a variety of very deeply personal challenges that individuals and families face each and every day. The pandemic and the most recent winter storms have exacerbated much of the mental health and financial problems that we're working hard to address with our clients. We've seen a 400% increase in demand for services. And to give you guys a better understanding of what that really looks like, in prior years, we were serving about 14,000 individuals per year. This last fiscal year, we ended up serving over 23,000 individuals. In the first 6 months of this fiscal year, we've already served over 27,000. So as you can tell, the need is there, but you know what? So is our community. Last year, 730 volunteers rose to the occasion to support our clients and the agency during a time that was extremely difficult for everyone, filling a total of 3,970 shifts that were essential to helping to keep the agency running smoothly. These volunteers also included our JFS and foundation boards, who ensured that we had the resources necessary to do our work and the support whenever and wherever we needed it. So thank you. As things were changing, we never had to worry about our services being disrupted, largely because you all stepped up and kept things moving forward. Volunteers stood alongside at a safe 6-foot distance, helping in the food pantry, delivering kosher home delivered meals, and helping our staff members on the front lines. And together carrying out the JFS mission, providing the services and reliable support to all the people who turn to us for help. Now I'd like to provide a few agency updates, let you know what's been going on sort of bigger picture things this past year. From the services side, we have provided over 1 million meals to more than 25,000 individuals through our drive-through food distribution model. We've delivered over 13,000 kosher home delivered meals to homebound seniors and the disabled. We've been providing welfare calls and check-ins to our Holocaust survivors so that we could diminish the harmful effects of social isolation. And through strategic partnerships with local counties, cities, and the United Way, we have successfully distributed over $3.4 million in emergency housing and utility assistance to over 1,000 families in our community. We've also made great strides in improving our infrastructure, so we are well positioned for growth and to continue to respond wherever needed. We completed a remodel of the Plaza Salon space, which we took ownership of January before the pandemic hit, and have since relocated our former offices at JFS 2 and 3, which are our older adults program and our accounting and development teams, into that space in Plaza Salons. We are also in the process of an expansion of our food pantry, which will also take part of the space at the back of that Plaza Salons. It should be wrapped up by July of 2021. And what this will do is provide completely separate spaces for where clients can shop for their food and where the food is stored and received. It's going to help that whole client choice model become even better than it's ever been. We have launched the Feasibility Campaign towards a capital campaign for our new building that will be located at our same spot off Arapahoe and will happen over the next 3 to 5 years. We're working with the Community Security Initiative to improve security and access to our building until that capital campaign can address the issues more fully. And we have partnered with the Federation's Community Health Crisis Management Team to collaboratively address the needs of our community through the pandemic and beyond. Whether you're here to help us honor a COVID-19 hero yourself, you have seen just how much Jewish Family Service is making a difference. And as a result, you've invested your money, your time, and your love into this mission. And with that, it's absolutely priceless. A thank you can't even begin to cover it. We simply couldn't do what we do without you. So on behalf of JFS, I want to again say thank you for making more possible. And now it is my privilege to introduce you to Suyah, JFS's first volunteer coordinator who, over 20 years of service to the community, blazed a trail for all who would come after her. Our volunteer program is what it has become today due to her groundbreaking efforts. As a result of her efforts and in partnership with Sue's family, we are naming the Director of Volunteer Services office in her honor, so generations of volunteers who come to our doors will see her legacy. This all came to fruition based on a special phone call that I had with her nephew, John, who's here to say a few words about his aunt and this gift, and afterwards we'll hear from Sue. John?
My brother Jeff and my sister Judy and I are blessed with wonderful and supportive parents. In addition to all they did for us, we got amazing aunts and uncles and cousins. My mom wrote me a letter when I was 11 at away camp that said my cousins from Knoxville were moving to Dallas and their move would change my life. My cousins have been an important part of my life ever since, as well as my Uncle Sam. But I didn't know then how important and impactful my Aunt Sue would be. I went to their house often for Friday night Shabbat dinners and was always greeted by someone that cared and was engaged in what was going on in my life. She always shared interesting things that she learned that week. She invited people to dinner that were new to town, didn't have relatives close by, or people she was working with at Jewish Family Service, like Russian Jews. She wanted to hear everyone's story. We heard firsthand about what she was doing for the community through JFS and the volunteer program. She was completely selfless. I started hearing as I played basketball at the JCC, "Are you related to Suyah? We love her." Almost 50 years later from when I received that letter, Aunt Sue is the matriarch of a family of almost 100, revered by great-great-grandchildren to great-grandchildren to her kids, my dad, and many friends on the call today. My hope is that Suyah's plaque at JFS will inspire everyone who walks by to give back, be engaged, be curious, be supportive without judgment, like Aunt Sue has inspired me to do. Most important, I want my kids to learn about the importance of family that Aunt Sue has always demonstrated. It's a great privilege for me and my family to be a part of honoring Aunt Sue.
What can I say after that? It was January 1977. I was thrilled to get the job, Coordinator of Volunteer Services, a newly developed full-time position at JFS, primarily established to fill the growing need for volunteers to help with the burgeoning program of resettling the Jewish refugees from the former Soviet Union. I had marched to let them go, so now it would be my privilege to help them resettle and to work in the Jewish community. The Jewish world was always committed to helping others. Today, we cry social justice. Then it was Tikkun Olam, always building community, strengthening community. We're in it together, a very popular adage in today's world. President Biden expressed it when he landed in Houston on Friday, but it was always true. That's how it worked at JFS then, and that's how it works today. Together, we build community and strengthen our community. The boards, the leaders, the staff doing the day-to-day work, the volunteers creating and serving, the generous funders, the community organizations. All together, we made it happen then, and you're making it happen now. Everything always came together for me at JFS for 20 years. I loved it. As John told you, it was more than a career for me. It was my identity. I loved my colleagues, my selfless, hardworking volunteers. We were all in it together and we accomplished a lot. We couldn't do everything to make life better for all, but we made a difference. We helped strengthen community then, and that's what's happening now. The ways are different, the community has changed, who we work with, but it's still going on. I'm so fortunate, I'm so grateful. Number one, for my years at JFS. Number two, how many of you have nieces and nephews like I have? They brought me to this day, and we're so grateful. And grateful for their generous contribution. Thank you, John and Julie. To Sam for always being my pillar of support, as well as my daughter Elizabeth and son-in-law Ron, my son Richard and my daughter-in-law Louise, my grandchildren George and Lauren and Ruthie and Jason and Janet. They keep us afloat today, and believe me, it takes a lot to do that. I want to thank Arnie Marks and Michael Fleischer, who always believed in me, and to Janine, who kept the volunteer program thriving and flourishing for many years. I want to thank all of you today for your presence, and for all of you who were there with me for the 20 years. I want to thank all of you who have made contributions. Don't you feel good? I feel so good now that we have a way to help the agency with all the current needs, pressing needs. And what do you think about this? I get to have a plaque in my lifetime. I don't have to die for it, and I will get to see it. Can it get any better? Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. It really is an honor to following your footsteps. And I know that all of our other volunteer coordinators would say the same. So we hear about essential workers, and we often think about the healthcare workers, the first responders, the grocery store associates who cast their fears aside to help the community during the pandemic. But we also need to think about the volunteers, each of you who did exactly the same. Every time you prepared a craft kit or hosted a toiletries drive, entered data, wrote cards, or made welfare calls from the safety of your home, helped to transport supplies, or showed up to stand on the front lines with the JFS staff, you filled an essential role. You fed thousands of families who were impacted by the pandemic. You provided reprieve from the isolation for older adult clients and kosher home delivered meals recipients. And you made it possible for JFS to transition to completely new models of operating, while fear of the unknown, summer heat, and winter storms added additional challenges and barriers. There's a quote from Fred Rogers in which he says, "When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, 'Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping.'" The people who were helping were the bright spots that he needed to get through those difficult times and the scary events that were happening. This year, we watched the news and saw a lot of scary things. We saw a pandemic taking the lives of hundreds of thousands of our neighbors, family, and friends. Just before that, we saw a tornado that destroyed our community. And most recently, we saw a winter storm that left thousands without power and water. But we also saw those helpers. We saw each of you showing up to make a difference and be a bright spot for our staff, for our clients, and for each other. We've been through a lot, but we've gotten through all of it together, and we couldn't have done it without your help. So thank you for all that you've done this year, because each of you is truly essential to fulfilling the mission of JFS, now more than ever. And now I'd like to introduce our board president, Julie Lieberman, who will present our first award, the Jfs Leadership Award.
Thank you, Kristen. I'm delighted to be here today on behalf of the Board of Directors to thank all of the volunteers who have helped us fulfill our mission. We continue to be an open door to anyone in need due to the tireless efforts of our volunteers. It is now my pleasure to introduce the winner of the JFS Leadership Award. Every year, our Volunteer Appreciation Committee selects a board member to receive this honor. It is awarded to a board member who is energetic and enthusiastic about JFS, goes beyond what is expected, and embodies the values and image the agency wants to project to the community. I am excited to tell you about this year's award recipient, Seth Margolies. Seth is in his second year on the board, but he has been a member of the Finance Committee for 3 years, where he worked to improve our accounting reporting and assisted with the interview and selection process of our CFO. He was also nominated by his peers to serve on the nominating committee as a first-year board member, as well as being elected to an at-large position on our executive committee. Seth is a Society of Life member and an avid participant in agency meetings and events. All of these things make him well deserving of this honor. Therefore, it is my pleasure to congratulate my friend, Seth Margolies, on receiving this year's JFS Leadership Award. Congratulations, Seth.
Thank you, Julie, and congratulations, Seth. Our next award is our Community Partner of the Year Award, and I'm thrilled to present it to Morrow Hill. Chris Morrow, the president at Morrow Hill Commercial Real Estate, may say that he was just in the right place at the right time, but if it weren't for his compassion and dedication to making a difference in our community, he may not have been here to join us receiving this award today. After seeing the food pantry line on his drive to work, Chris called a friend of his on the JFS board to learn about what was going on. And when we heard that our food pantry was serving 500 families each week, he knew he needed to step in to do something and to help. So for the next 2 months, he brought 16 members of his team to spend their Thursday mornings working at the food pantry instead of working in the office. During the time they were there, we saw a tremendous increase in the need from our community, and our numbers jumped to 700 families each week. If it weren't for Chris and his team being there, I don't know how we would have been able to meet that need. They were a big part of being able to serve our clients in an efficient and effective way, and their positive energy that they brought with them made the distributions more fun for everyone. So thank you, Chris and Morrow Hill, for stepping up and stepping in to help at the time when we needed it most, and when even we didn't know that. Thank you. Next up, we have our COVID-19 Hero Awards. So those of you who have been to one of our volunteer appreciation events before probably remember the list of various award categories, but this year is different. We weren't able to choose one volunteer of the year because we felt that there were a group of people who helped to make sure that JFS was able to keep its doors open, metaphorically, of course, during this last year. Without these volunteers, we would not have been able to serve our clients in the ways that we did. They were truly essential in making things happen, each in their own ways. They are our COVID-19 heroes, and they are collectively our volunteers of the year. So please join me in congratulating all of them as we present their awards, and joining me to help present those awards are the people who work with them day in and day out, our volunteer coordinators, Liz Bracken and Liz Latson.
Our first COVID-19 hero is David Chortek. He's fast and efficient with his kosher home delivered meals routes, which certainly makes him an asset. But David doesn't simply deliver meals. He charms all of his clients, occasionally using Yiddish phrases taught to him by his grandparents with some, or just chatting about day-to-day things with others. He has consistently volunteered almost every week for the last 8 months and has become a friendly and welcome face for the client that he serves. During that time, he has delivered more than 250 meals. Join me in congratulating and thanking David in the chat.
Our next COVID-19 hero is Joe Coleman. Joe came to JFS a few years ago and immediately began coming several days each week to volunteer in our pantry and to help build centerpieces for the Centerpiece for Tzedakah program. During the pandemic, she continued to come and help in the food pantry each week and even started to help pack meals for our kosher home delivered meals program. You always know where to find Joe if you just follow the laughter. It doesn't matter a person's age, background, or how long she's known them. Joe's sure to make them feel welcome and treat you like you've been friends for years. Her laughter is contagious and she makes everything more fun when she's around. We're grateful that she continues to share her joy with each of us and our clients.
Our next COVID-19 hero is Kathi Dege. Kathi Dege came to JFS just before the pandemic closed things down, but the closure didn't make her reconsider whether or not she could be involved or the extent to which she wanted to volunteer. She jumped right in and became one of our most reliable food pantry volunteers. Each week, we know we can rely on her to help lead a group of volunteers packing meat into bags for clients, filling carts of eggs, and making sure that each of our kosher clients get the food they need as they come through the food pantry line. Even when she went to spend time with her new grandbaby, she took stacks and stacks of data entry with her to help us input while she was away. Her evident selflessness and calming presence make her a true delight to work with, and her care for the clients is obvious to everyone she interacts with. Thank you, Kathi, for sharing your time with JFS and being one of our COVID heroes.
It seems there is no task out of Barbara Guskin's reach. When administrative tasks needed to be done remotely because of the pandemic, she was always willing to adapt and pitch in. As the primary volunteer to maintain and organize the label system for the Kosher Home Delivered Meals program, she kept accurate reporting of the meals to get nutritious food to clients' homes. Since July 2020, Barbara has stepped in to help with several critical remote administrative roles to support the agency each week. Her attention to detail and drive to help our staff and clients is clear, and we appreciate everything she does to keep things running smoothly. She's making a difference in the community, and not that many people can see, but the impact she's making is more than anyone can imagine. Thank you, Barbara, for being a behind-the-scenes hero.
Next up, our diaper queen, Dawn Kaufman. Dawn Kaufman dedicates over 10 hours every week to our food pantry's diaper organization and distribution to ensure each client in need receives diapers. During the first several weeks of our drive-through distribution, she saw the diaper supply dwindle in the first hour of the 3-hour-long distribution. She recruited friends and family to do drive throughout the community and encouraged others to give when they came to volunteer. Every week, she came to JFS with diapers and wipes that she had purchased or collected to make our supply go further and help more families. Dawn spends hours on Mondays and Wednesdays sorting and organizing our diaper deliveries and prepping for our Thursday distribution. She arrives early on Thursdays to make sure everything is set up and distributes the diapers and wipes to our clients, always with a friendly smile and kind words. Because of Dawn, we're able to distribute tens of thousands of diapers to our clients each week. Thank you, Dawn.
Despite the rigorous academic demands of her junior year of high school, Morgan Lemler has chosen to spend her weekends driving around to collect coolers from the doorsteps of our kosher home delivered meals clients. She has made the transition to a new contactless model of the program possible with her efforts by volunteering in a unique way. Morgan has been very important to keep the wheels of KHDM turning and very deserving of this award.
Next, we have Beth Monde, and Beth joined the Kosher Home Delivered Meals volunteer team after drivers were in short supply in the spring. The job was easy for her to learn because Beth once coordinated the program as a staff member at JFS. She's upbeat and caring, and Beth is a driver that will be certain to check in with her clients every week and even on off days. So Beth is known to stand in the front yard and have a brief masked conversation to help alleviate the isolation that the clients on the route feel throughout this new normal. She has even brought supplies or groceries from the store or made deliveries on different days to make sure that clients can make medical appointments. She really goes above and beyond. Thank you, Beth, for all that you do for the members of the community and for JFS and our Kosher Home Delivered Meals clients.
Lisa Moore delivers a Kosher Home Delivered Meals route to a senior living complex in Garland where the clients have a significant level of isolation. She is sweet and caring and treats each one of the meals recipients she delivers to like she is the concierge at a fine hotel. Her cheerful visit each week provides respite from all of the loneliness that quarantine has brought to our clients, and her compassion is contagious. We thank her for her dedication to our program and know without a doubt that the clients she delivers to each week look forward to spending time with her, just like we do. And William Oglesby has been a familiar face around JFS for 25 years. During his time, he's helped our agency in a variety of ways, and we couldn't be more thankful for his continued dedication to the community. He is always focused on mitzvahs, and it shows daily. Along with the meals he delivers for KHDM, Williams always brings each client a little humor, a nice story, or even dog treats for a client's beloved pet. As a longtime volunteer for JFS, it's no surprise that William Oglesby is a 2020 COVID hero, but we are thrilled to honor him in this way. William, thank you for all that you've done and continue to do for JFS. Even with a mask, Erica Prager's smile can be seen by all. Her kindness is infectious, and she is well loved by every KHDM client that she delivers to. She is compassionate and an advocate for all of the clients on her route. Prior to Erica's joining us as KHDM driver, one client called each week with concerns about her deliveries. Once Erica was able to see the client each week and give her warm, caring contact, the client reporting being much happier and loved the consistency of the deliveries. Throughout the pandemic, she has maintained her devotion to her clients, driving a lengthy route in Richardson for the program. Erica is thoughtful and takes the time to make sure each client has what they need to remain independent in their own home. We are lucky that she has remained devoted to the program, even during this time of uncertainty.
You probably recognize Gita Rajendran from the 2019 Volunteer Appreciation event, where she was named our Volunteer of the Year, or our 2020 event, where she was presented with the President's Volunteer Service Award, or maybe from a committee you've served on her with, or from any of the times you've been at the JFS building over the last 3 years. She's become a staple of our agency, and we're so lucky to have her. She works tirelessly to make sure our staff and our clients have everything they need and is an inspiration to many. Anytime there's a need that has to be met, Geetha is the first person to jump in and volunteer. The pandemic has not stopped her from doing just that, but in different ways. She continues to help with our food distribution each week, as she did before the pandemic, and has also started to pack meals for KHDM too. If you've met Geetha, you know that the compassion and heart she has for our clients is second to none. I love to see the excitement that clients experience when they come through the drive-through line and see her familiar face. They're lucky to have her, and so are we. Thank you, Geetha, for sharing that compassion with us.
Seeing the trunk of Allison's car overflowing with food helps you know how much she cares for the community. Because of funding from the CARES Act, JFS had the opportunity to provide breakfast items for our kosher home delivered meals recipients. Allison packed breakfast each week for the program. She carefully counted out and organized the food. Allison took great care to make sure that the clients had the freshest and highest quality variety within the budget given to us under the grant. She took a time-consuming task of picking up into a high art. Allison is a designer by trade, and she took the time to add her own visual touch with each of the clients' meals. Allison's dedication to helping the agency keep the breakfast program running was such a huge task. Thank you, Allison, for your amazing work for JFS.
Spencer Silansky has volunteered at every drive-through distribution since the beginning of August. He helps to load heavy boxes of shelf-stable food and bags of produce into our clients' cars, helps to break down boxes, and stays late to help clean up. Each week, without fail, he is the last man standing, making sure that everything is cleaned up and put away. After a few weeks of Spencer coming to volunteer, we started asking him to train new volunteers and help them on their first day. Without blinking an eye, he rose to the occasion. He's also completed hours and hours of data entry for the food pantry and continues to give in countless ways. Anyone who's had the chance to work with Spencer knows that his kindness and dedication are unmatched. Spencer is set to spend the next few months in Israel interning at a sports center for children with disabilities, and we will miss him dearly, but we know that he will make his mark and become just as indispensable there as he has been for our food pantry. And next, Diana Stein. Diana is a longtime volunteer in the pantry. She's been coming to stock the shelves at the end of distribution for years, and during the pandemic, she became our go-to volunteer for any stocking or lifting projects to help us get ready for our weekly distribution. Anytime we called her, she came by to help make sure the project got done. And her passion for helping people who are struggling with food insecurity is made clear by her dedication to not just the JFS food pantry, but other pantries in the community. Each week, she coordinates with the network of community ministries pantry and delivers items to them that we won't be able to use before they go bad. She works so hard to make sure that the food donations we receive get to the people who need it most. So thank you, Diana, for putting so much time and energy into helping to feed the people in our community.
Like Diana, Lee Vasa has spent hours and hours stocking the shelves in the pantry with more precision and attention to detail more than anyone. When the pandemic hit, she had to pivot from stocking the shelves to helping at our weekly food distribution. Little did she know that she would end up in a completely different role, directing traffic for the hundreds of cars that drive through our parking lot each week. Each time a client comes to receive food from JFS, Lee is one of the first faces that our clients see as she ushers them through the line. Her smile and wave as she directs the cars make a bigger impact for her clients than I think even she realizes. The kindness that she greets each person with helps to ease the hearts and minds of each client that she weighs on. She's dedicated and reliable, and we're grateful for her commitment to the agency. Thank you, Lee, for sharing your smile with each of us and each of our clients, and thank you for learning to mold into new roles.
Shiv Venkatasetti was roped into helping in the food pantry by Geetha, who you heard about earlier, when we needed more heavy lifters. Little did he know that he was going to become the food pantry's jack of all trades. He has been a lifesaver in every sense of the word. On his first day of volunteering, he told our staff that he knew how to drive an electric pallet jack and would be willing to come early to help bring pallets outside and get us ready for a distribution. Now he arrives at 7:30 every single Thursday to drive over 30 pallets of food outside all before 8:30 a.m. After that, he sticks around for the distribution, making sure to help with any heavy lifting and packing meat and eggs into carts to get clients the food they need more quickly. And when our beloved truck driver, Berwin, was leaving his position, Shiv stepped up to the plate and trained under Berwin to learn the ropes of driving the truck. For the last 2 months, he's volunteered his time as the primary driver for our food pantry truck, picking up donations from our community partners and orders from the North Texas Food Bank, all while continuing to show up early on Thursdays. He is the definition of a team player, and his humble attitude and willingness to help with everything we throw his way make him invaluable to our program. So thank you, Shiv, for always being up to the task. Nelson Weil has also been a longtime volunteer of the agency, but through our Special Needs Partnership Committee. I hadn't had the opportunity to work with him before our drive-through distribution started, and now I can say that I don't want to go back to a time where I don't get to interact with him each week. He arrives at our distribution early each week to begin sorting and bagging the meat products to ensure that our clients are receiving meat that is safe and sufficient to feed their families. He lifts heavy boxes, bags meat to give to the clients, and goes the extra mile to make sure that our food pantry is a safe and clean place for all of our volunteers to be. We really, truly could not run our Thursday distributions without him. He's also become someone that our staff leans on to help train and guide new volunteers, and we know that the pantry is in good hands with him there. So thank you, Nelson, for being such a great leader and sharing your time with JFS.
David Weiss is always willing to lend a helping hand, whether it be at JFS, in his congregation, or in the greater community. He drives the longest route for kosher home delivered meals in North Dallas and Plano, and has driven his route without interruption since the very beginning of the pandemic. David has a kind disposition, so when he interacts with KHDM clients, he promotes their inherent dignity while they are receiving assistance. He treats each one of them with the highest level of respect. His generosity and care are noticed by everyone around him. David is careful and considerate and has been a true COVID hero.
Sherie Wigder. Sherie has been an incredibly dedicated and crucial volunteer to our food pantry. She dedicates her morning every week to our Thursday distribution, interviewing clients and ensuring they are getting the food they need. When we needed diapers, she picked up donations from her friends, filled a room of her house when we didn't have storage, and brought a carload of them to JFS with her each week when she came to volunteer. She has also been incredibly helpful with prepping for the distributions, lifting heavy boxes into our freezers, organizing our stockroom, and packing kosher boxes for the clients who need them. When Sherie is signed up for a shift, we know the job is going to get done no matter how big it might be. She has an infectious positivity and energy that keeps us all going until the bitter end, even if it means staying late. She cares deeply about every client, staff member, and volunteer she works with. We're lucky to get to work with her each week.
Thank you so much to all of our award recipients and all of our COVID heroes who have made this possible. And I want to thank each of you for coming today and for choosing to share your time and your passions with Jewish Family Service. We're grateful for each and every one of you and the contributions that you provide to our agency. I also want to give a special thank you to our committee and to the staff members who have helped to make this event happen. Before we transition into our bingo game, which I hope you will all stay for, I know that we have about 10 minutes until 3 o'clock, but we'll continue playing a little bit longer so that we can have some fun enjoying bingo together. But as we transition, I'd ask that you go ahead and get your bingo card ready, whether that means pulling it up on your phone or if you printed it out, get that pulled out. And then we'll be dividing into breakout rooms. So a window will appear on your Zoom screen and you'll have to click the button to move into your breakout room. From then you'll be able to unmute yourself and our Volunteer Appreciation Committee and our JFS staff members will help to lead your games. We will only have one winner from each round and each person will only be able to claim one prize. So make sure you're quick as the numbers are called. So if you get bingo at the same time as someone else, you can yell it first. So here are the prizes that are going to be available. So first prize is that we have a heat sensitive color changing constellation mug. So when you add your hot water, it shows you which constellations are there. We have a 1,000 piece space jigsaw puzzle, a space team game, which is a fast paced card game. And we have a galaxy blanket. So keep in mind which one you'd like if you win. And if you win, when you're in your breakout room, we're gonna ask that you send your address in the chat along with which prize you'd like directly to the JFS staff member in your round. They will write down your name and address and we will mail your prize directly to you.